Next one.
Hi, today I've got a pleasure to meet and to speak with a very famous producer in the US. This is Anthony Dent. I'm gonna let you present yourself to the people who don't know you.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, where you from first,
Okay.
and the people you work with, the project you work with.
Okay. Basically, my name is Anthony Dent. I live in Atlanta, Georgia, in the States, United States. Basically, I am a music producer. Been producing 15 years, maybe 15, 16 years. Okay. I started out producing with a guy named Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, Diddy. He has about 9 names.
Exactly.
But yeah, started
Sean
out with him. Yeah, Sean Combs, Sean John. But yeah, started out with him in Bad Boy days. He had a record label with a lot of artists, a lot of talented artists, from Notorious Big to Mace, The Lox, Faith Evans, 112, Carl Thomas, Total, and I pretty much produced every one of them, all of those artists for him, including his album. I worked on his album. He had a couple albums himself.
Which one? You remember? No?
I think the first one, it was right after Big passed. He had Life After Death.
The one, I've been missing you.
Right.
This one? Yeah. Great album.
Yeah.
Definitely a classic.
Yeah, that was a classic album. Yeah. It sold 10 million records.
Yeah,
did well.
That's quite good.
Yeah. But yeah, I was on his 2 records. And I've worked with several artists in the States, such as Jay-Z.
Okay, great.
Aretha Franklin.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Destiny Child. I did a couple records for them. Rappers like Too Short.
Oh.
He's old school, but he's still doing it.
That's a classic flow. You're gonna hear it Too Short in 10 years, 20 years.
He's gonna be on his 50th album, but he's still gonna be rocking the house.
Oh, I love this flow.
He's definitely, an innovator. He started so long ago when I was young, and just for me to be in the studio with him, still doing it. Like in LA, he lives in Los Angeles right now, and he has, you can go in any club right now, he has new music, and they're going crazy for him. That's an honor to have worked with him.
Really? Yeah.
But, and then I work with the new cats, Waka Flocka. He's real big in Atlanta, in the South. I know him. Young Jeezy.
Yeah.
Let me see, some other new cats name.
That's pretty huge list right now.
Huh?
You got a huge list of collaborations.
Yeah, it's a vast
So you're producing like R&B, rap, all kind of music. You're not stuck in one style.
No. I love to be universal.
Yeah.
I've went to Nashville, Tennessee, and worked with country artists as well.
Great.
Yeah, when I worked on 112, they have some of the best studios in the world in Nashville.
I know.
So we would always go to Nashville and record.
You got a classic sound, classic rooms.
Classic sound.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they have a lot of old churches that they redo into studios, and you have some of the best sonic. The sound is incredible. So
I know.
Yeah, I did some country western out there. Worked on some Japanese artists as well, and I'm here in France to work with the artists here and bring what I do to introduce to what you guys do here too.
Are you working strictly as a producer, or you produce and mix the project, or you coach the vocalist or something like that? What's the kind of job you work with?
Like vocal producing, yes, I do that as well, but pretty much producing, doing the music.
Okay.
I guess conducting musicians. I like to use live instruments. Yeah. Not so much as the mixer. I've been in and assisted on mixing records, but I'm not really the mix engineer. I'm more of the music, and then I let the mix engineer mix. But
Exactly, you let him know the direction, the
I
artistic
have an
direction
input
of the.
in it, right?
Great,
Yes,
great.
yes.
This is very important because nowadays we have two type of producer. You know, you have the beat maker who just give his beat,
Right.
and you do whatever you want with that.
Right. Yeah.
And then I got a producer I like to work with, and I give them more, if you want, strikes. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's the real producer that come with a concept and coach the vocalist, the way the performance and all that. That's very-
basically that. Yeah, there's a big difference between a beat maker
Exactly.
and a producer.
Exactly.
The producer closes the album or closes the record. A beat maker, might make you a beat, and then they like, here you go, and then you have to then, as an artist, do what you do, or to make the complete song. But
Exactly.
yeah, I consider myself a producer. I know when I started making beats, and then I had to learn or work with other more polished producers who taught me how to produce, such as like a Quincy Jones. I consider him a composer, producer. So that is a big difference, though, learning how to take just a record and make it into a song, and not just, even with the music, but you have to know how to teach the artist or tell the artist what you want to hear and bring it out.
Yeah,
definitely.
Most of the time, I don't know for you, but me, when I produce, I make the track, and already I got an idea for the hook, how they're gonna spit, what kind of artist I'm gonna give this track to, because I know, okay, I'm gonna hear Young Jeezy on this one, right? So this is a plus for me, very, very, very important.
Yeah.
Tell me, when you started with what kind of hardware? Was it MPC?
No, I actually started with the SP1200.
Yeah.
And a Kai S1000.
Okay.
Like, that was, a lot of people probably don't even know what that is, but yeah.
I don't know. I used to.
I know
do
you
that.
know.
And the
right.
Atari ST, you know the small computer.
Yeah.
Pro 24 on it.
Yeah.
That's it. I started with the same stuff.
Same type of gear, and just being in the studio back then, you would have a wall full of keyboards. You know what I'm saying? Different keyboards where you MIDI them up and you try to go through the sounds. But yeah, that pretty much was my everything. That SP.
The SP 1200. That's
right.
the
best drums.
Oh yeah, the sound are crazy.
Right. Yeah, and then from there went to the MPC 60.
Okay.
And then the MPC 3000. Yeah.
So right now you're working on the 3000 right now?
Yeah, I still do the 3000, but everything is a lot different.
Yeah.
When you travel, you can't bring 7 keyboards, you can't bring all this gear. So Logic to me is very convenient. It's really a universal sound, and you can have a lot in it. You can get a lot of sounds out of it. So I use the 3000 with Logic. I'm getting a little bit into, it sounds bad, but Fruity Loops. I've really been hearing some good stuff from Fruity Loops.
Yeah, that depends the kind of production you are making.
Right.
Basically, you ain't gonna use Fruity Loops if you're making some acoustic drums or something like that.
Right.
But yeah, for some kind of music that's very quick, you drop an ID very quick like that, and then you
can sample pretty quick too.
Yeah,
it breaks it down and everything. So
yeah,
I like that
that's
feature.
a good
Yeah.
And tell me, you're still working on the MPC 60, please.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The sound is, the converters are very great. That's the
you can't really beat MPC 60, and a lot of complaints with Logic and Reasons is that it sounds too digital. It sounds too thin.
Exactly. We're gonna speak about that.
Okay.
But this is like, I'm testing right now the VCC from Slate Digital.
Yeah.
The VCC, the console emulation plugin. And so we're gonna talk about that.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't been able to use that yet, but I know about that.
I'm gonna check. I'm a crazy slut,
Okay.
I compare a lot of plugins. I do some tutorial for the plugins and all that.
Okay.
So I'm very picky when I choose one to include in my setup and all that.
Yeah.
Okay,
you have
great.
to test it out real good.
Oh yeah. Stress test.
Right, stress test.
Okay, so right now your rig, you're working basically more in the box. That's a hybrid, half out of the box and half in the box.
I would say more in the box, but I like to mix the two. I think you can still get a good sound, even once you get it down to Pro Tools, because I record into Pro Tools, so just taking the Logic into Pro Tools, still using the MPC, try to get it as dirty as possible before you digitize it up.
Exactly. I know that. You give the color you want first, and then you. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. But like you said, in the box is really convenient and fast. We want to keep going as fast as possible. So,
how you live the progression between all out of the box and now all in the box. So basically, how you live that. We saw that you integrated it on your setup, your personal setup. So you're working principally in the box, but still using outboard gear.
Right.
So basically, how you live that? That was like very excited for you, or you was like, that's not for me at first, and then you.
Yeah, it really was. It was a struggle for me because I didn't want to. I got racks and racks of stuff, and I have a couple producer friends, been doing it for a little while, and to see them integrate into Logic and what they were doing and how fast they were doing it, and they basically told me, they came to my studio and they were trying to get me to do it, and they were like, you need to take all that outboard gear, put it in the corner, put a candle on top of it, and make it a prayer spot or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's no joke. You're not gonna be able to sell it. You can't do nothing with it. So just after hearing and seeing what they did, it made sense to, you gotta work smarter, not harder. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the equipment we used back then, it took you a longer time, which made it sound better maybe, but you want to be, forward progress. So I just, once I got into it and found out how easy I can keep my sounds, like I don't need a whole bunch of zip discs for my MP. I can put it on a hard drive and put it into Pro Tools or into Logic, and I can move around a little bit better. And then I can still sample with my MP if I need to. So it made it, it was a struggle at first, but it was a good transition for me.
Yeah, I was speaking with Mike Dean, and basically he used hardware strictly for takes. This is the case for you?
Yeah.
That's basically the principal way we use hardware. Right now for summation, external summing, external summing, and basically you pass the sound on the outboard gear like a Neve or something like that, just to get the the vibes of the real console.
Right.
So you got a real console, you got some summing boxes, or you do all the mixes in the box. After all the sound is in Pro Tools. Right. You going out after that? Or
I do go out a little bit when I use just C24. Okay. I'm not really. Sometimes when I go mix it, the engineer I use for mixing is on
He's using
SSL.
Exactly.
But me creating the beat, creating the sounds, I'm just right there on minimal, like I said, C24, and just getting my sound as best as possible. Exactly. But I do try to go back into like an analog surface.
And do you make a pre-mix when you make the sound? You make the cleaner as possible already for the
already
mix?
Yes, yeah. Okay. I try to clean it, have it really close to a mixed as possible before it gets mixed. Like, I really like to hear what it's going to sound like.
Exactly, and that's very important for the artist to hear good vibes and to vibe sound.
Exactly.
Okay, and so you're using Logic for composing.
Yeah.
Then when you're mixing, that goes to Pro Tools, right?
Pro Tools, yes.
Okay. What kind of plugin? You can talk about the plugin you're using, for example? For beat making, you tell me right now you're working quite a lot with Fruity Loops, or just?
Not a lot. I'm just getting into the Fruity Loops, and I'm also getting into the Ableton Live.
That's great.
That's a great program too.
For Fruity Loops, you use it for programming drum or getting like a sound module?
Samples, pretty much.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's a good sound collection on it.
It's a good sound collection, and I like how, see with the MP, I sample, but you still gotta, truncate, you gotta go, but Fruity Loops has a great program for slicing.
Exactly. So basically you're using Fruity Loop like a sample machine,
sampler. Yes,
and you got an editor on it to cut, slice, and all
that. If I'm sampling, it allows me to get into the sample a little bit better, because samples usually are played live, and it shifts. So that that program in Fruity Loops is pretty good. And then I just go back into the into Logic.
Okay, in Logic, how you program the drum? What kind of software you're using?
I like Machine. Do you mean that kind of software? I like BPM too.
You using a machine?
Yeah, I'm just getting to the Machine.
Oh, that's crazy. We got a machines to you right now, so if you want to...
Yeah, I think Machine is really one of the closest things to an MPC.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think...
All my friends, they ask me, because I got both in my studio,
Okay.
and they ask me, Zo, do I got to take BPM or machine? I say, okay, you from the MPC world, take machine. Because you got a workflow of the MPC with the integration of the software. Everything is already, you bounce it.
And you can feel it still.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
The control are crazy.
Yeah.
BPM is more complex on the software side. You can go deeper than machine on it.
You can go deep,
But the workflow is not the same. Exactly.
Yeah, it's not the same.
You gotta have an MPD or something like that to play it.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I think both of those being using both of them, that would be a great thing too. Is that
This is the way I use it, because right now you can use BPM in machine.
Yeah, you can.
That's crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's getting harder.
Right.
So talking about the plugins for the FX, do you have some favorite plugins they're using for like EQs, compressor, limiting, reverb, delays?
I like the Reverb. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just use pretty much a lot of the standard ones. Like I don't have some unique plugin. I do some of the main ones that are in there already. I like to use the Maseratis for getting certain sound. The Maserati kit, and there's what's another.
You don't have a special tool that you're using every time. You just like cleaning the track more than.
Yeah, well, me, because I have like an engineer, so he has a nice setup he always uses for the template of my drums and stuff like that. So I just really, I get them as clean as I can get them, and then before he
know
drops
what to do.
it in.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
that's very hard to find one like that.
Yeah,
I'm doing it myself. The day I find one that can do it for me,
right?
I'm gonna be like you, man. I'm telling you, you know what I'm saying?
I like to just put, what I'm saying? I put what I do, and then I can tell him, yeah, like that.
Exactly.
Because it's sad, but I didn't get into the digital as I should have, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm still trying to get my analog sounds, and once I put them in there, he knows how to brighten it or make it more dirty or what. So you know what I'm saying? So I didn't really get into all the fancy plugins and all that. I
know that. For the production, we talk about BPM machine. Do you have some other plugins you're using, for example, for the instruments? You're using Contact from
Yep. Contact. Yeah, that's a good one to me.
Or you prefer to work with some sampled instruments like that? Or are you gonna play the real
live instruments? To me, I like to use samples, but I like to use live instruments. I like to, even if I do sample, I'll replay the sample or. If I have a sample, I'm gonna get a live bass on top of it. Most of the songs I've done, I've used live instruments for. For instance, like song I did for Destiny Child, I'm a Survivor. Basically, I did the strings on the keyboard. Beyonce, after she finished writing and laid down the song, I then went and took.
Some real players.
I got an 8-piece string section, and it was funny because I had to write it out though. I had to have it written out because they didn't know. They can't sit there and do it. It has to be on paper. So I would have it written out. I did that for a few songs just to get someone to write it out, sheet music, and then add on top of it and keep layering it.
That's what I do for bass. I would love to play bass. That's
bass?
what I'm gonna
play.
And so. I play the bass on the keyboard, and then when I go into New Orleans, I got some crazy bass players.
Man, I know they do.
I say, okay, play me like this, and do my record like that.
And that's same here. You see the idea I have? Man, do your magic, feel around it, you know what I'm saying? And I just keep it on record.
And you play some instruments, so?
I started playing the trumpet. That's what I started off with. And then just percussions, drums.
Okay.
you know, a little keys like guitar. I really want to play the guitar, but what I'll do is find the chord or find the sound, and then I sample it.
Oh, okay,
and
great.
then, you know, put it how I want it, or, you know,
Great,
find the
great.
note however I can. But
Okay,
I don't have anything classically trained, nothing. I just by ear.
Me too. That's how we learn. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
yeah.
You ain't got the SAE like that back in the days. You know what I'm saying?
Not at
I
all.
was straight from the scratch. Tell me what you're working on right now. Do you have some project or something like that with
Yeah, right now I am in the studio with T.I. He's
Okay.
he's working on his new project.
Okay, great.
I did some stuff with Ludacris.
Okay.
He got a new album coming out. Brandy, she just got a new deal as well, so she's working
Yeah,
on some new stuff.
I know about that because I got a good friend who really know her.
Okay, yeah, definitely, yeah. She's actually been in Atlanta a lot, so yeah. Her and got some good stuff for Rihanna coming up.
Okay.
I work with a young lady writer named Cristal, so she actually did.
Want to come up? She's
No, she
a new
did
cat?
Rihanna's first single,
Oh,
and she
okay.
did a lot of Mariah,
Okay.
Mariah's latest album. So we worked on Monica. We did Monica, Keke Palmer, a couple other people. So she's a great writer. So
Okay,
yeah,
great. So
working on that.
You got some hot stuff.
Yeah. And then I have my own artist. His name is Saint Nick. So we're just doing the deal right now, actually, and it's gonna be real big.
You gonna chop a deal for him?
Well, yeah,
That's pretty engaged or not?
Yeah, we're actually talking to a label now. So,
Okay.
but he's a hot artist in Atlanta. Got a couple mixtapes out. So, you know, we're just getting our full buzz out right now.
Yeah, the streets. He got the streets right now.
Yeah, you got to get the streets first before
Exactly.
you even, you know, do anything else. Why do something, you know?
Okay, great. So I'm very pleased to encounter you, and I want to hear
Same
what you're
here.
doing right now.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And do you have some other stuff to say about the French SAE or the French people?
Bonjour.
That's a great start.
That's a great start. No, I got a lot I want to say. No, I really, I come a long way, but I really want to hear what's going on here and how we can implement it and work together. I know over here and in Europe, dubstep is real big.
Yeah.
And it's trying to come to the States a little bit. So, you know, just trying to, I would like to be involved. You know what I'm saying? Just hear, that's what inspires me to come over here and work with some people. Who's the hottest artist over here? Who's the up and coming? I want to get in with them and see what we can, you know, come up with, make some magic.
Great.
Definitely. It's a pleasure.